Hi, welcome back to Faith and Conviction, and I'm your host, Ray Harris. Want to welcome you to this week's Torah portion. This is our 44th Torah portion, but it's the first Torah portion in the last book of Moses, bringing us into the book of Deuteronomy. Now, in Hebrew, the book of Deuteronomy is known as Devarim, meaning words. So we're going to take our Torah portion this week from the first portion in Deuteronomy, and we will call Deuteronomy and refer to it according to its Hebrew name of Devarim. So Deuteronomy 1, verse 1 through chapter 3, verse 22, and our portion name is Devarim, meaning words. Now this connects over to our Strong's number, to H1697. H1697. Now our key word is found in Deuteronomy 1:1, and it is the second word. Now this word is found many times in the Hebrew Old Testament, and Brown Driver Briggs tells us that it means speech, word or words, the plural, speaking, a saying, an utterance, but also the word Devarim, actually in the King James gets translated by several other words, which are these definitions from Brown Driver Briggs: things, business, occupation, acts, manner or matter. So all of these things are kind of interesting in what's going on with this word, but it has a primary definition of words. So in the King James, it had word or words, thing, things, acts, matter, sayings, commandments, and a whole slew of other stuff that is there. But we're just trying to nail it down for our little discussion here. Now, within our Torah portion, Devarim is found 9 times. In verse 22 and verse 25 of chapter 1, it's translated as word. Deuteronomy 1:1, chapter 1 verse 34, and chapter 2 verse 26 is translated as words. Now in Deuteronomy 1:14 is translated as thing. Deuteronomy 1:18 is translated as things. Deuteronomy 1:23 is translated as saying. And over in Deuteronomy 1 verse 17 is translated as cause. Now I went according to word order as I did my research, not verse order when I gave that to you. But it's very interesting that here we have 9 instances of the Hebrew word translated 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways, perhaps 5 depending on how you want to count it. So this one word represents many concepts. So let's take a look at it here in our key verse, which is Deuteronomy 1:1. The King James says, these be the words, and that's our Hebrew word. H1697 is what it connects to. These be the words which Moses spake. So the complete Jewish Bible, which I talk about quite a bit, this Jewish Publication Society, also the Apostolic Bible Polyglot, and the Greek Old Testament all use the word for words. So words, and logoi. And those who are Greek know that we're referring to the word logos. So it's very interesting that it's right there. So logoi is marked with the Strong's number G3056. But I wanted to look at the rest of these instances of this word for Devarim. So the main thing that I found is that the Greek Old Testament is translating this Hebrew word with 2 primary Greek words in this Torah portion. And of course it's logos with its variations for plurality or whatever. But there's the other Greek word, and it's rhema. And that is Greek number G4487. So we're going to look at both of these this time. Now what is the one thing that we've been trying to communicate from the start of the series? The words mean things. The choice of the English words mean things. And how we represent this Hebrew word through the Greek New Testament. This was the Greek Old Testament. Down over here in the English, all of these word choices matter because it colors and flavors our understanding. So let's take a look at this. So let's take a look at logos. Logos is found quite a few times in the New Testament. Again, it's Strong's number G3056. Thayer says it means it's a word, as in it embodies a concept or an idea. It could be a word like a discourse. You and I are having a dialogue right now. It could be a word like his someone's doctrine or teaching. And there's some other definitions that he has. Remember, I try to put some study notes down at the bottom of the video at faithandconviction.org. So go to that web page and take a look. Now the e-sword tells me in the King James Concordance that logos is found in the New Testament about 325 times. And it has a lot of different ways of being translated. Word, words, saying, sayings, speech, utterance, communication, among a lot of other stuff. But I want us to look over Luke chapter 3 verse 4, and that's where we're going to pull our word there. Because when we go back to Deuteronomy, it's logoi, it's plural, trying to find something plural down here in the New Testament. So Luke 3 and verse 4, the King James says, as it is written in the book of the words, so that's G3056, of Isaiah the prophet. So when we look at this, and we go back into the Greek New Testament, it says in Biblon, logon, and I'll just say it, Isaiah, okay? Now, it's very interesting that the word logon is there, logon. So what we have is the same Greek word in the New Testament, of course, that's over here in the Greek Old Testament, which translates the Hebrew. This is important to understand. Now, the other word that we want to look at is rhema. Remember, it's G4487. Thayer says rhema means that which is spoken, a subject matter of the speech. And in the e-sword concordance, it shows us that it's in the New Testament about 73 different times. So between the two words in the New Testament, logos is used more than rhema. But that's just trivia if you want to know that. So rhema is translated in the King James as word or words, saying and sayings, which is the exact same translation for logos in English. So these kind of words intermingle into the English translation. And then of course there are some others, but we're just kind of narrowing it down. Now I wanted to look at a verse for rhema. We're looking at it in Mark 9 verse 32. But they, meaning Jesus' disciples, understood not that saying. And the word there for saying, of course, is rhema, meaning it's identified by Strong's number G4487. Now, it says, but they understood not that saying and were afraid to ask him. And you can take a look at it, and rhema will be found in the Greek New Testament. This is interesting because when we come back over into the Devarim and we look at Deuteronomy and we see our Torah portion that we have for this week, it could be interesting. Instead of saying, bring to me the cause, and that's over in chapter 1 and verse 17. Instead of bring me the cause, bring me the words. Because he's trying to settle dispute. And dispute arises between what one person is saying, what another person is saying. So it's interesting that we have these ways of expressing ourselves. And a saying is expressed with words. We might call it an idiomatic expression. It's raining cats and dogs. We call that a saying, but those are words. So which one is what? How do you want to represent that saying into English? Is it a saying, or is it an expression, or is it words? Is it a statement? Is it an utterance? All of these are flavors of the Devarim, which is davar, which means all of these things in Hebrew. This one word has flavors. Now, we've been noticing this throughout all of our series, from the Old Testament, meaning the Hebrew, and studying it here, bringing it over into the Greek Old Testament and the Greek New Testament and into the English. All we are trying to express by this whole study series, words express ideas and words mean things. Now, we can study the Hebrew word, and it's one word, and as I was just showing today, it has all of these meanings and definitions. And over here in the English, while speak and say are very similar, words convey conceptual ideas, where speak and say are, like for us, action about what's being said. So it's interesting that you can't speak without words, and words can be a saying about what you just said. So it's kind of a confusing thing, language, isn't it? All the things that we do, why we do what we do, and why we express ourselves the way we express ourselves. So again, what we're trying to show is the power of Moses and the power of Messiah, that we can see that through the Hebrew and through the Greek and to the English, all of these things, whether in the New Testament testifying about Moses or Jesus, or it's in the Old Testament and it's the teachings of Moses, both Jesus and Moses are working together through language, and language colors our understanding of God, and that is cool. These are blessed things. I hope it's been a blessing to you this week, and until next time, continue to seek God, know Messiah, find hope.